Debbie Antonelli has a front row seat for a lot of it. She does Indiana Fever's games on TV, and she joins us. I still can't believe that you're back at it after you did like 47 games in 8 days during the NCAA tournament, men's and women's.
How lucky am I, Adam? I mean, what an incredible schedule, right? I mean, I love it.
I know you do. You have that kind of energy. And how many free throws did you make in 24 hours?
Excuse me. I made 100 on the top of every hour for 24 straight hours. So at the end of 24 hours, I made 2,400. In 6 years, I've made 14,400 free throws, and I'm averaging 94%. But the big number, Adam, is we did cross over $1 million for Special Olympics, and that's the most important thing.
That is incredible. 94%, though. That's a pretty impressive number. All right, you have a front row seat, Debbie Antonelli, for what Caitlyn Clark has dealt with in 11 games in 20 days, and I think that's probably part of the equation here. How over has the defensive attention been over the top?
I don't think it's over the top. I think it's incredible respect for a skill set that the league understands can help a team win. That's a fact. Indiana has played 11 games in 20 days. That is unprecedented in the 28 history outside of one other time. So the league stacked up this schedule for Indiana, and then they put all the TV coverage on top of it. It is a media rights year. They are trying to, get a new media rights deal. So you put your brightest star on that, and you put your other stars on that package. And so I think it's the ultimate respect. She's face guarded everywhere she goes. It's not cliche to say she's guarded when she gets off the bus. And she's managed it all very well.
Yeah, I mean, I think she has, and it's not the same attention she would have gotten in a Big Ten game or even in an NCAA tournament game, because I think people just kind of, maybe it's convenient, but they kind of forget that every time you go up a level, you are going to the cream of the crop at that level, and there might be no tougher league to get into and stay in than the WNBA.
Oh, there's no question about it. It's the best basketball in the world, and it's 144 strong. And these women are fit. They are highly elite athletes, and they are very skilled. And the difference is why you don't see a lot of double teaming and trapping and blitzing in college is because they don't have the skill set and that kind of energy to be able to do it, to be quite honest, because Caitlyn is big and strong and physical in that environment. Now you go to the WNBA, certainly there's a speed and there's an adjustment pace, and she's adjusting. I mean, she is Rookie of the Month. She's averaging 16 and 6.5 assists. I think she's doing remarkably well, but the amount of attention that she's getting is unprecedented. Nobody's been face guarded the whole game for 40 minutes like Caitlyn has been guarded for those 11 games.
It would certainly help. Also, I mean, her teammates have to help her out by playing better. They need better players. There was a reason why Indiana had the first pick in the draft. So, they certainly lucked out in terms of the attention and the attraction. What did you make of the Chennedy Carter shoulder to the court?
Well, unnecessary. Not a basketball play. Should have been addressed on the floor immediately. Right. Maybe it's a blessing that it wasn't, because it's allowed every media person in the world to start talking about the WNBA. I agree with what you said at the beginning. I do think there will be a positive net effect on discussion, because I think people are curious. They want to see. I mean, she's navigating this new world as a 22-year-old kid. And keep in mind, at 22, she can't go anywhere. Her celebrity is that big. Mm-hmm. She can't walk down the street, in Indianapolis. You go into the arenas, 9 sellouts, or the top 9 attended games, or the 9 games that the Indiana Fever have played in. Her teammates got to make open shots. I think that's the next thing for them. That's not the scheme. It's not what they're running. I do think that Caitlyn's a ball-dominant point guard. I think they're all adjusting to all that, and I think they're getting better. It doesn't show in the win-loss column, but I do see improvement. Yeah,
they also played against some of the first 4 games were home and homes with 2 of the best teams in the league. It was not an easy way to start the season. Not only the concentrated schedule, but who they were scheduled against. Debbie Antonelli is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. This becomes a very polarizing discussion. Angel Reese said yesterday that the popularity of not just the WNBA but women's basketball isn't just about one person. I happen to think she's right. Well, what we can debate is how much of an impact is kind of pointed towards Caitlyn versus Angel, who has the national championship to her credit, or like Asia Wilson or Jewel Lloyd, there are tons of great players in that league. I don't think that Angel Reese is all that wrong.
No, and those with the biggest brands completely understand the visibility and the level that has changed, right? I mean, there are 4 franchises that have moved their home games to accommodate the Indiana Fever's attendance draw. That's good business. That's a smart move by those franchises, okay? Yes, there are lots of people that have helped. I don't think anybody's a bigger brain around the economics of the league. I think the economic forecast forward, because of what I've called Clarkonomics, is allowing the league to push forward in other ways, the charter flights. Sure, They've been talking about that for 5 years. But I'm not sure they have the money for that. We don't know. But the economic forecast forward with a new media rights deal and the players looking for a higher piece of revenue share and getting better salaries, it is a rising tide. It is going to benefit everyone. Everyone's going to make more money. It's going to be more money in their pockets. Where it comes from shouldn't matter. If I went on the air and I said, when I was in college, we had to push a tire uphill in the snow backwards. And, does that mean that I want the players today to have to go through what we went through? No, you're trying to make it better for the next. And I think that's what those of us that have been in the game for the long time and the long haul. I mean, come on, Adam, I've been in the arena calling games where they could hear me on the free throw line.
Yep.
Okay. Now, when you go into these WNBA arenas, you have to experience it. It's loud and music, and there's entertainment around the event, and the product is the narrative. I've said that for decades. The product is so good, and it keeps getting better, and this rookie class has helped the product become better. Now, Caitlyn is a driver. We've never had a disruptor economically in our game like we're having right now. I'm celebrating that, but I'm also celebrating that Asia Wilson is one of the best players at 6'5" that you're going to see in the world. And if you go and give her a chance, or if you go and watch Jewel Lloyd, to use your 2 examples, these players are elite. I mean, these are the top of the top. They are good. They're fun to watch, and they can score. And I care about offense.
Yes, you do. And Caitlyn Clark shooting about 90% from the free throw line, which is still short of Debbie Antonelli, who's joining us here on the Adam Gold Show, Indiana Fever Color Analyst. I talked about this yesterday with my friend Mike DeCourcy, who writes for the Sporting News. I've termed some of the pushback from players to be in the jealousy category because they see the attention that she is getting, and that there is an element that they believe, and I think they're right, that they should also maybe be getting now, or maybe should have been getting in the past. And I can absolutely understand why there has been a "will show you" rookie, but they've also done that to other rookies, haven't they?
Oh, yeah, that's just part of the initiation process, right? And I will say this. There might have been some players that said something before the season started. It might have been what I would call a misunderstanding, meaning I don't think they realized the value that she was going to bring to the league, right? I mean, how could you estimate what was going to happen? None of us could predict what we're seeing. We had a feeling, but we couldn't predict it at this level. Well, now you see those with the biggest brands. They're not saying anything. They're just playing. I had a game in New York right after the incident in Chicago after Indiana got a win. And New York is a bunch of professionals. They handled the game like pros. They played competitively tough. They played tough on Caitlyn. She didn't shoot it well. It was a tough outing for her. It's the hardest game she's played in terms of her own personal numbers. Indiana really wasn't even in the game from the beginning. And New York just jumped on them. But it's the 3rd time they've had to play New York in their 11-game schedule.
Right.
This is a team that played with their core coming back last year that played for the championship. So, I mean, I think the players, there's too much spin about the players and how they're feeling about all this. I think the players just want to play. They want to compete. They want to compete at the highest level. We don't need the cheap shots. That's got to go. Nobody wants that anywhere. But it is a story because it is Caitlyn and because she has generated so much interest and new eyes have come to the game. She's not the only one driving the new eyes, but she certainly is the biggest disruptor we've ever had.
Debbie Antonelli is joining us here. Real quick before we let you go on the adjustment period for her. Obviously, bigger, stronger, faster. College players have to deal with that in the men's game when they go to the NBA. We see it in other sports. Heck, we have no idea who's going to be a good NFL player based on what we see in college. It's almost a complete roll of the dice based on all of the stuff we've talked about, bigger, stronger, faster. Are there any concerns at all about Caitlyn Clark's game?
Not for me, and I've been watching her a long time, and my relationship with her started before she blew up. So I've been watching this kid for a while, and she has an incredible IQ. She has a great passion for the game. She knows she needs 10 pounds of muscle on her frame. She will add it. I mean, my conversations with her are all about IQ. You know, what she sees, how she reads the second level, what's next. And every player will tell you, from Kelsey Plum to Sabrina Ionescu, to Courtney Vandersloot, all of them that came in that were a little bit, I'm not going to say they didn't lift weights because they did, but the fitness and the conditioning is at another level. And, you know, when you've got, 6'3" with a 6'7" wingspan rotating out at you to blitz you on a ball screen, that's tough to deal with. You got to have strength. But overall, reps and rest is what she needs right now, and it's what Indiana needs. And I think the schedule is going to give them a little bit of an opportunity to get some W's. But honestly, Adam, there's no easy circle win in this league. I mean, Atlanta beat Vegas, and there's a lot of good teams, but the star power is there. The product is the narrative, and I'm always going with that, and I've been preaching that for decades, man. Our game is so good. Now people are paying attention.
Yeah, they are, and it's very cool. And by the way, there will be expansion coming. A team in Canada, right? They're going to barnstorm across Canada?
We're going to go Golden State is getting its franchise, and then Toronto for sure. And I think there's going to be more that are being discussed. I personally am hoping Charlotte comes back. I did the Charlotte Sting TV package the first 5 years of that franchise. So I'm excited about what's coming down the road. I think the play continues to get better. It's because the players are good. If the product wasn't any good, nobody would pay attention, and the product's really good.
And Debbie Antonelli, you need more to do, clearly. Indiana Fever Color Analyst all over college basketball during March Madness and beyond. Thank you so much for the time, Debbie. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Adam. Have a great day.
You too. Debbie Antonelli here on The Adam Gold Show.